Right. We are at Middle Creek National Battlefield, and it's just outside of Prestonsburg as you're going back out to the Mountain Parkway. There's a couple reasons I wanted to vlog this. The first is because this was the first big battle of the Civil War in Eastern Kentucky. Really was one of the biggest ones in the mountains. And the Unions won over the Confederates. And this was so early in the war when nobody really knew what was going to happen or how things were going to play out and that kind of thing. So I'm going to walk around and show you some of the sides. I mean, it's a battlefield. There's not a whole lot to look at, but it's neat to walk around and just think about what went on and why and things like that. And right there's really what, that first line of that paragraph is what it came down to when it was a Civil War in Kentucky. It was neighbor versus neighbor, family versus family, and that kind of thing. Because where Kentucky was a border state, you know, people chose sides. The state didn't pick a side. So people were split, and you have brothers fighting against brothers in battles like this one here. Here's something interesting. General Breckinridge, we have a county named after him, but what's even more interesting is Bull Nelson fought at the Battle of Richmond back near my house, and I have a video about, not necessarily so much about that battle, but the house and the battlefield, and I'll put the link down at the end of the video so y'all can check her out.
Captain Ezekiel F. Clay, 1st Kentucky Mounted Rifles. We've got Colonel John S. Cyril Gordo Williams and Lieutenant Colonel Lionel A. Sheldon.
And y'all know I love rocks. This is cool. Oh, there's a hole in it. I bet it was a flagpole or something at some point. But y'all know I love rocks. This would be a cool one to have in the yard and just sit on. This is the battlefield. Oh, there's the river and the train tracks. It's weird, you come to these battlefields and you get thinking there's people still in the ground here and stuff like that, and the blood that was soaked into the ground. It's about too much to have to think about, but that motorcycle go by. All right, now we're getting ready to walk over here to something that's really interesting. It's probably more of a landmark to people who live in Kentucky than others, because we know the story behind it. A few years ago, there was an attorney here in Floyd County, and he did work in a lot of Eastern Kentucky counties, called Eric Kahn. There was a major bust went down. He did a lot of Social Security cases and embezzled the daylights, millions and millions of dollars from a lot of people, and took off running. And when they was trying to find him, it was on the news every day. If they had seen him peeing at Burger King, it was on the news. People would see him riding bicycles. You'd have him two different ends of the state on the same day. And turns out he was on an island out in the Caribbean or something while they was looking. They finally found him and brought him back. This gigantic statue of Abraham Lincoln used to sit in front of Eric Kahn's law office and was pretty well known. And since everything happened, they moved it down here to the battlefield. It's kind of an interesting story. It's supposed to be a pretty close replica of the statue of Lincoln in the Lincoln Memorial, but those fingers on that hand to the left of the screen look pretty long, don't they? I bet he could pick a nose. He couldn't pick his nose. Look how little his nose is compared to the big old fingers. But that's the Lincoln statue that sat in front of Eric Kahn's office for years until the great hunt for Eric Kahn started and all that stuff. And there's the flags. On the left, you see the Union flag that was used during the war. On the right is the Confederate flag, and in the middle is the current American flag.